Coming up next, only a Frontrunner project, I will be giving you guys my thoughts and review of TNA Sacrifice 2012. My thoughts and review coming up next, right here exclusively on Frontrunner project. You know what's coming up next? That's right. Roll that damn intro. So we kick things off in a great way. We have the Tag Team Championships opening the show. We got Kazarian and Christopher Daniels taking on Samoa Joe and Magnus, the champions, going into TNA Sacrifice. And honestly, I thought this was a great way to kick things off. We had a good tag team match that I really enjoyed. And in this one, just having some of the things that we did get to see here. We got the big boot here and the backsplash, as well the great teamwork by both of these teams, and seeing some double team moves as well. And it was a kind of fast-paced type of match between these two teams and had some good chemistry between them. And of course, we had the frequent tags and all that good stuff. And in the end, we do have, that's right, new TNA Tag Team World Champions. That's right, in Daniels and Kazarian. I thought it was a great way to have them get the win here. And if anyone can take out Samoa Joe and Magnus, why not have Christopher Daniels and as well Kazarian? Even though these two should be main eventers, and with these veterans becoming the new TNA Tag Team Champions, I think it's only right that they had this win, and they did deserve it, to me, in my personal opinion. So a great way there, and no complaints when it comes to that first match. So that's it when it comes to my thoughts and opinions overall on the Tag Team Championship match. Alright, so from there we move on into the Knockouts match, which I thought was a pretty good matchup between Gail Kim and Brooke here. And of course, Brooke looking to get a win after winning against Gail Kim for 3 weeks in a row here, and looking to get the Knockouts Championship. And even though Brooke put up a good fight between Gail Kim, and we didn't see Madison ring, since I'm used to seeing her interfere and help out Gail Kim, we did not get that, however, at TNA Sacrifice. And in the end, Gail Kim was able to get the defeat over Brooke, and we almost saw Brooke get the win here with the E defeat and stealing Gail Kim's own finisher. And we did see that a little bit back and forth work between the two. And both of these two having pretty good chemistry with one another. And I wouldn't have minded if Brooke got the win here and became new Knockouts champion. I thought it would have been time. But anyway, of course, we got the roll up here by Gail Kim and defeating Brooke and retaining her Knockouts championship. So it is what it is when it comes to that. And it was a pretty good match overall when it comes to the Knockouts championship. Now, you know TNA must be smoking some damn weed when they have Devon taking on Robbie E and as well Rob Terry in the 2-on-1 handicap match, and this one was for the television championship. And don't get me wrong, it was an okay match. Honestly, I did not really care for this match at all. And we did see the double teams by Robbie E and as well Rob Terry in this one, and we had a miscommunication between Rob Terry and Robbie E during the match too, a little bit there. But of course, both of those guys ended up trying to take out Devon in this one, but in the end, of course, Devon does get the win and retains the television championship. So it is what it is when it comes to that. Hopefully, Devon can move on and find someone else to feud with, since he's been feuding with Robbie E and pretty much Rob Terry, if you will. I think it's time that Devon moves on into somewhere else and just do something else with the television championship, and maybe see, hopefully, a new feud going for him going into Slammiversary. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see what's going to be happening with that. So, honestly, one of the matches that I did not care for, and could have been saved for a regular episode for TNA Impact, but hey, it is what it is. Okay match, and Devon retains. Now, in this next match, I did enjoy, and it was a pretty good match for what it was worth. And in this one, I thought, to me, going into my predictions video, I thought this type of match should have been like a #1 contenders match for the world title. But I wouldn't be surprised either if we do get a Fatal 4-Way rematch going into Slammiversary. And this one, we did have Mr. Anderson taking on Jeff Hardy, and I thought it was a pretty good match. And what we did get to see here, we did get to see the pretty good chemistry work. We see Mr. Anderson really focusing on the arm of Jeff Hardy and trying to take him out. We see the stealing of the finishers between the two. We see Jeff Hardy use the mic check, and as well, we see Mr. Anderson use a twist of fate onto Jeff Hardy, and we see basically a controversial finish, if you will, where Mr. Anderson got the roll up. But to me, honestly, just by going by that, really, with the end of the match. It was clearly a 2 count there, and to me, I did see Jeff Hardy get his shoulders up, at least to me anyway, and it looks like we might have either a Fatal 4-Way going in for a Slammiversary, or possibly, like I mentioned, that Fatal 4-Way rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary. So, with that, it was a pretty good match, and I wasn't nearly as into it, but it did get pretty good, and even picked up a little bit as the match went on. So, I did enjoy it, and in the end, Mr. Anderson, of course, defeating Jeff Hardy, so, you know, it wasn't bad for what it was with in the end, so Mr. Anderson getting the win there at Sacrifice. From there, we move on into an open challenge match by Crimson, looking to have someone try and defeat him, and of course, we did have Eric Young come out here and looking to take out Crimson, and then eventually Crimson comes out with the win here, so really nothing too special, and I didn't really care for this match, and I couldn't care less about it, and of course, Crimson walks out with the win and defeating Eric Young here. So with this, I don't see why they had this on the pay-per-view. This could have been saved for TNA and had this as a regular match or whatever you want to call it, a squash match, and have it on Impact. But hey, it is what it is. Crimson remaining undefeated at TNA Sacrifice, and that's it when it comes to that. Now with this next match, I gotta say, this match really surprised me for the X Division Championship. This one we had Austin Aries taking on Bully Ray. With these two guys different size and with their height and everything, really surprised me, and it ended up being a great match, and I actually ended up enjoying this match, and just going through some things that we did get to see here. We see the epic stand-up between the two, we see the scoop slam, and as well the spit to the face by Bully Ray to Austin Aries in this one. Of course, Austin Aries eventually does come back. We see a crazy spot here by Bully Ray, giving the big boot from the top rope to Austin Aries on the top turnbuckle, and him ended up falling onto the floor there, so that was crazy. We see the knife edge chops in this one. We see the single man 3D, if you will, by Bully Ray to Austin Aries, which was sick. We see Bully Ray ended up kicking out of Austin Aries' finisher with the brainbuster, and eventually we do have the submission win here out of Austin Aries and defeating Bully Ray and retaining the X Division Championship. Also, we did have a business brother get involved just a little bit here, and eventually, if you will, helping Austin Aries get the win. But mainly it was all Austin Aries getting the win here, and well-deserved win. And Bully Ray did pick up a fight here, and did well with this fight between the two. And I gotta say, overall, it was impressive by these two, and I wouldn't mind seeing that match again if they had a rematch going for Slammiversary. So even though I do see Bully Ray as a main event type of guy here, but you know, this surprised me, and it ended up being a great match, so I do highly suggest it if you haven't seen it already. And that's why Austin Aries retaining the X Division Championship. Wow, what a great match there. So there you have it. This next match is possibly even match of the night, and definitely a fantastic match, and possibly a match candidate for match of the year for me anyway, in my personal opinion. And that's why I am talking about Kurt Angle against AJ Styles. Definitely a fantastic match. If you have not watched it already, go check it out if you can. And with these two definitely thinking the same things and having an even out match between the two, and having great reversals of fantastic chemistry, of course, between these two, and both men thinking the same things at each other and trying their best just to get a win here. We see the tag champions get involved here with Kazarian, and as well Christopher Daniels trying to help Kurt Angle in this one, but of course that backfired there. We see the Styles Clash in this one. We see the Angle Slam here. We see Kurt Angle trying to go for the Styles Clash, and this match was just fucking sick. I really enjoyed it, and thumbs up definitely for sure by these two. And with this, it would be, I think, at least well deserved to me that AJ Styles does get somehow at least to be in the title picture somehow after this. I think it's well deserved anyway, but in the end we do have Kurt Angle that's like getting the win here via Angle Lock and defeating AJ Styles, and it would have been nice to have AJ Styles get the win here and get the upset of Kurt Angle, but hey, it is what it is, and I enjoyed this match, and I enjoy both of these guys in the ring, and especially with each other. It made up for a great match, and really enjoyed it, to say the least. So Kurt Angle, of course, getting the win there, and that's when it comes to that, and definitely a phenomenal match, to say the least. So Kurt Angle getting the win and defeating AJ Styles. So with the main event, we had the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. With the ladder match, we had Bobby Roode taking on RVD in this one, and RVD has been looking to get his championship that he says he never lost. And RVD and Bobby Roode, with all honesty, I could care less about this match. It was a pretty good to okay match, and it was pretty slow paced, I thought, and I didn't really get that much into it. We did see some pretty cool stuff out of it too, with the ladder and the steel chair. We see these two fight each other on the outside as well, and having an outside brawl, if you will. And we did have a fucked up botch by RVD trying to get to Bobby Roode and going on the top turnbuckle and jumping from there and going into the ladder, but getting his legs stuck there, so that pretty much messed up RVD there and trying to get a win, but of course that didn't happen. Bobby Roode ends up retaining, and that's why he is your longest running TNA World Heavyweight Champion, which you can't go wrong with that, and I'm actually happy that Bobby Roode did get the win here. So I'm looking forward to see who's going to be next in line to try and take out Bobby Roode. Maybe it will be James Storm, or maybe we'll get a Fatal Foley going for Slammiversary. But anyway, whatever happens, I am looking forward for it, and you know, I can kind of care less about the main event, but I am happy overall that Bobby Roode was able to retain and walk out as world champion. And yeah, I gotta say, overall, I would give it a thumbs up for TNA for Sacrifice. And going into the show, didn't really care for it, but overall, it ended up surprising me, especially with some of the matches that they did have on the card, and most of them did deliver. So I will give them a like for this pay-per-view for Sacrifice. And speaking of likes, be sure to like this video, and as well leave your feedback on what you thought of TNA Sacrifice, and as well go follow me on Twitter at DavidRivera1989, and go check out the Wrestling from Rings channel as well. You guys will not regret that. And we will be going live on Ustream for the next pay-per-view for WWE, which will be Over the Limit, so you guys cannot miss that. And that will be at 3 p.m. So it's going to be one hell of a show there for Over the Limit pay-per-view pre-show, which you guys cannot miss that. But anyway, I said too much here, and for my TNA Sacrifice 2012 review, until then, have a great day, guys. See you.